Hello guys, welcome back to the channel.
Hello. Well, last time you saw us, we'd just come back from Keswick.
We had indeed.
We had a fantastic first night away in the van, all of us. So us two, Hannah, Bailey and Bobby, the two dogs. Great time. If you've seen that vlog, then you'll also know, though, that I came back with a stinking cold. Nothing relating to the night in the van, but yeah, we had a really good time. Yeah,
stinking cold, but any excuse to get out of housework and other chores.
Behave. But we learnt a lot, didn't we, on that first trip?
We did. So we thought we'd share our experiences with you and what we've learnt so far. As you well know, we are complete newbies to campervanning.
We are.
Don't really have a clue yet.
I think it'll be quite a long time till we have a clue, to be fair.
Yeah.
So, what have you been up to since you last saw us?
Well, we had a trip to Coniston, this time in a cottage, sadly not in the van. It was a holiday we had pre-booked before we'd even considered buying a van.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, we couldn't cancel and get a full refund, so we decided to go ahead.
We had a great time, though.
We had a fantastic time, a lovely cottage in the centre of Coniston. However,
we've had to cut the trip short. So at the time of recording, this should have been our last full day up in Coniston, but we decided to come home yesterday due to the weather.
Yeah, there was a couple of amber warnings for severe torrential rain. Serious risk of flooding and danger to lives. We went to bed on Tuesday evening. Yeah. It started raining round about 6:30, 7 o'clock on the Tuesday night, and it continued to rain all the way through the night. The bedroom in the cottage had a couple of skylights. It got heavier and heavier, the rain. It was terrible, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it was raining that hard it woke you up, wasn't it?
It did, yeah.
And it was windy.
Very windy as well,
windy.
yeah. The cottage was right by the side of Church Beck. I'll put a clip in now of the Beck as it was the day we arrived, and also just after that I'll include a film of the Beck the day we left.
It was unreal. I mean, and then so to drive home, the drive from Coniston to Ambleside, for anyone that knows the road, it's quite a winding road anyway, but it's by no means a track or anything like that. That was certainly an interesting drive, and that was in our four-wheel drive car. It would have been really interesting, I think, in a van. The roads were incredibly flooded in places, traffic, and it was, and it didn't stop raining hard really till we got to about Preston on the M6.
Preston-ish,
so we're really sad.
It was sad to come home, but we think, having seen some television pictures of the flooding in the area, it was a right decision. We would have just been stuck in a cottage and not be able to do it. On Wednesday morning we got up and we only went out for about 20 minutes with the dogs. Obviously they need to do their business. We were at the foot of Coniston Old Man. There was a steep road leading down to the cottage, which we attempted to walk up. It was like a river. It was unbelievable. It was incredible. The path we walked down was flooded. I stepped in to a puddle thinking it was fairly shallow and it'd be all right.
Foot deep, do you reckon?
It went up to nearly my knee. It was that deep. I was so surprised.
And Bailey was fine because Bailey loves water.
But
Bobby was like a little drowned rat.
We came back and I felt sorry for the dogs because they were drenched and obviously cold.
Never mind the dogs, I was drenched and cold.
I don't care about you. So a good decision all in all.
So, okay then, what did we learn from our first night in the camper van?
What did we learn? We learned a lot, really, didn't we?
We learned. We loved it.
Yeah, it definitely. I personally think we've made the right decision in purchasing the van. We spoke earlier on. We know we're going to use it for days out. Obviously, weekends away. I'm going to get away in the van when I'm not working. I know Karen and Hannah and the boys have got plans to get away when I am working at weekends. So it is going to be utilised as we expected.
Definitely.
But what we've learnt from our first trip is pack lightly is the first one.
Oh, pack sensibly.
Yeah. We took a bit too much stuff, considering we were only going for one night. And
yeah, I mean, my bit of advice, I think, was do your packing and then take half of it out, because I think that you will pack, or we definitely packed too much. We seem to pack for, well, we'll pack this just in case it's really cold, and we'll pack this just in case it's wet, and we'll pack this just in and it was just too much. And anybody who's seen that our morning after the night before on our last vlog, you'll see that I had the same jumper on. In fact, I think Paul had the same clothes on the following morning, and that's not because we didn't bring other clothes. We did, but we didn't need them all. And it isn't only clothes, I don't think. I think other stuff.
I think as a guide, get a good weather app on your phone. We use AccuWeather.
Yeah.
Always found it brilliant. Check the forecast where you're going to go and pack accordingly. Don't think, well, it might rain or it might get cold or whatever. Just check the forecast for the area you're going for, the few days you're going to be there, and pack to that, really. Yeah,
because however much storage you think you've got in the van, it's never as much as you think when you come to try to put everything in. And the van now is lovely and empty, but that's because all our bedding's in the house and it's all been lovely and cleaned. But definitely pack sensibly, I think is the best thing to say.
So lesson number 2 we learned is pack and organise your van correctly.
Yes, so know where everything is.
Yeah, that's what I mean by
which is partly my fault.
Yeah, some of it is, some of it isn't.
Yeah.
One mistake we did make is we'd put the bed down, the rock and roll bed down, and then we realised we needed something out the side cupboard, so it meant putting
the bed back up again.
To get out what we needed. Everything. Schoolboy error.
Well, yeah, and when I said before it was my fault, Paul had one night in the van with Bobby, and he'd packed the van, and because it was the first time it had been out, he packed all the cupboards as well, so we knew where he put everything.
Yeah.
And then when he came back from camping with Bobby, I cleaned the van, and thought, all right, okay, I'll organise the cupboards how I went them all, and I moved everything. But what I didn't do is tell Paul where I've moved everything to. So he hadn't got a clue where anything was. And then when it came down to it, as he said, when we put the bed down, we couldn't access half the things that we wanted.
Yeah.
So that is definitely lesson learned. Is first of all, make sure you both know where everything is, and secondly, make sure that you've got everything arranged so that anything you're going to need after the bed's gone down, so either clothes for the night, toiletries, stuff to make a brew, whatever, is accessible while the bed's down. Yeah. Now, with us being a long wheelbase, we have got more space, so we haven't got to worry about blocking the fridge or blocking any of the front cupboard. But anything really from kind of where we're sat, probably to the end of the table, is covered by the bed. And we didn't consider that. No, we didn't.
There's a large cupboard to the bottom right here, or my bottom right, which Karen had packed some stuff in that we realised we needed while the bed was down.
Yeah.
Again, schoolboy error, lesson learned. I don't think we'll make that mistake again, but...
No, but that's the reason for that trip, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's all a learning curve.
Yeah,
it's all definitely a learning curve.
Yeah. So, number 3...
is, if you did see our vlog from our trip, you'll know Bobby spent the night on the bed with us, which isn't a problem because he's only a small spaniel. However, Bailey, the Fox Red Labrador, decided he was going to get on the end of the bed as well. It was only part way through the night he came on the bed.
Yes, but Bailey is a 32 kilogram very muscular Labrador.
Yeah. We feel he probably got a bit cold on the caravan floor, even though it wasn't cold.
No, it wasn't, but we think he
obviously was. It's maybe a little bit draftier, cooler down there because he is lay on the floor. So one thing we learned from that is maybe get him
he needs a dog bed.
A bed that won't take up too much space, but will keep him warm.
Yeah.
And maybe a blanket on top of him when he goes to sleep.
Yeah, or the other option is he's got a rough and tumble dog coat.
Yeah, we could use
and
that.
we could use that's toweling, so we could use that. But that's an option because, as Paul says, having Bobby on the bed is one thing, but having 2 dogs on the bed is definitely not sensible. It's warm,
Yeah.
but there's not a lot of space.
Yeah. Being 6'4" and having a dog at the end of the bed, it wasn't helping me sleep, really.
No, so that's something that we learnt is we have to be able to accommodate 2 dogs. Because when we're all travelling, it will be 2 dogs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Lesson number 4. We know we've got space under the passenger seats, but we didn't use the space under the passenger.
No, I think we completely forgot. We got so worked up about being able to turn the seat round, which was a bit of a faff, but I think it'll be easier the next time, that we completely forgot we've got all that storage space underneath the swivel seat and we didn't use it. And at the moment all that's in there is a short 10 metre EHU cable and a wheel brace.
Yeah, so
what a waste.
There's definitely space underneath there to be utilised, which next time we go away, which hopefully will be soon, will be utilised.
I'm tempted to put clothes in there. I think there's room to put clothes or shoes or something.
Yeah, definitely.
But that is definitely a lesson learnt, that we didn't utilise that space and it's just wasted.
Yeah, 100% wasted. But never mind.
Another one for me then is this number 5. I think we've got the thermal kind of cover things for the front windows.
Yeah.
The stick on with, I don't know what they're called, sticky things.
Suckers.
That's the word, suckers. Which are okay, but we think we need something better than them.
Yeah. We didn't crack a window, so the condensation first thing in the morning was
it
wasn't extremely bad, but it was there.
And we've got a window back, so we could clean the condensation, get my teeth in. But I just think they were a bit of a pain.
They're not a pain. They are useful.
Yeah.
But maybe get a wrap that goes on the outside.
Yes.
So if anybody can recommend a good company that does them.
Yeah, we've seen some of these cool ones that got eyes on. I don't necessarily want one with eyes on, but
something that maybe you can design yourself or put your own design on or whatever.
Yeah.
So if anybody recommends a good company for that, please leave us a comment below and we'll check them out.
I think that's it for what we learned. That's certainly the 5 key things anyway that we learned from our first trip. But I think the overarching message is we learned that we loved it.
Yeah. Yeah,
we really enjoyed it.
Yeah, as I said earlier on in the video, we've made this purchase. It was an expensive purchase, and you do have doubts whether it's the right decision and this, that and the other. At the moment, with Coniston, I won't say being in the way, but having a week in Coniston, or should have been a week in Coniston.
4 days.
Really sort of scuppered our plans, really.
But we have got plans coming up.
We have got plans coming up, yeah. So,
and it'll be a mixture of overnights and day trips in the van. But there's no doubt the van's going to get plenty of use.
Yeah.
And with all different combinations of us.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's it for today.
Yeah, thank you very much for watching. But before we go, we'd like to say a couple of thank yous. In our last video in our trip to Keswick, we had an issue tying the dogs up. The stakes wouldn't go far enough into the ground because of hardcore not too deep below the grass. And they kept pulling them out and, well, not running off, but they kept pulling them out, didn't they?
Yeah.
So a couple of people, Matt Townsend and the Angry Ginger and his banana van. What a top name for a
that's
channel.
A brilliant name, that.
Recommended that we tie them to the wheels using the plastic thing. So that was a top tip, and one we hadn't thought about.
No, thank you very much for that, really. And we welcome all of these tips. You know, we're new to this, so
complete newbies. So any other hints or tips, gratefully accepted.
Absolutely everything received. Anything that's going to help us out, definitely. Yeah,
thank you to everybody who's subscribed to the channel so far. We really do appreciate it, and thank you very much for watching.
Hope you've liked this video, and if you have, give it a big thumbs up.
Yeah, it really does help the channel out, so hit that like button, as Karen says, and we do appreciate that as well. On the screen at the moment will be a video recommended to you by YouTube. If you've not already seen it, we'd love you to go and check that one out. Thank you once again, and we'll catch up with you really soon.
Safe travels.
Bye bye now.